Professor Jay Kesan, good morning. You've talked about many important issues this morning in reference to Federal Trade Commission and the institutions that regulate the American system. I'm very interested about what could be the big important changes for the institution, especially concerning data protection and the federal authority that is responsible for the data is the Federal Trade Commission. And how could of course, you talked about statutes and so on, but what could be a good direction of changes to represent? Of course, there is a political economy issue. That's the issue actually, but also the role that the judiciary and the courts make in putting that into effect, and what kind of direction of regulations we could learn and slowly maybe change. If you can comment on that, please. Thanks.
Your question is a great one. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about, for example, tort liability for privacy violations, because that is where the courts are coming in, where the courts are acting like private attorney generals. And the courts are saying, hey, if these people's data has been collected and not properly protected, you have not done what you should have reasonably done. So that is another way of forcing companies to, even if they collect your data, at least they have to protect it. Now, it doesn't solve the other gentleman's question, which is they're collecting all this data and engaging in anti-competitive conduct. So it doesn't solve that problem, but it at least addresses the issue of keeping your data private. Now, there are other people who argue the FTC is not the right agency, and we need a new privacy czar. We need a new privacy agency. We need a new privacy czar. So there are other people who think that way, that their focus should really be on privacy. And you need a agency, you need a commission that really will focus on this. So because the FTC is really not doing enough. And the jurisdiction of the FTC focusing on deceptive consumer practices is narrow, and you really need a broader mandate. So yes, you're right. So one solution is to have a new agency with more powers. Another is, of course, to actually allow some of these lawsuits to go forward, because the problem is that courts have not recognized data insecurity is actually a social harm, and our autonomy is compromised, our privacy is compromised, is not really seen as being a harm that is actionable under tort law, because it's like the data is still there. Nothing has happened to your data. Now 10,000 more people have it. So what's the problem? This is nothing, this is not really a harm, So this is part of the problem.